Yeah, good everyone. You're welcome to the fourth week of the faith-based specialization certification, and we are halfway. At the end of today's class, we're going to be halfway into the program. I just want to encourage every one of us during this program to ensure that our assignments are in place and we are putting things together. Because next week I want everyone to send me the assignment for the last 4 weeks so that we can evaluate and guide them appropriately on how they can effectively build a successful, scalable, and sustainable faith-based enterprise. So we'll be giving a call within the next 7 days, but for only those whose assignments we have received. So I want to encourage every one of you within the next 7 days, please put your assignment in place. Ensure that you have registered, you have your student portal active, and then because in the next 7 days we're going to be having a WhatsApp call with individuals for a minimum of 10 minutes to ask you to get to know your project. And then it's going to be like what we call the business clinic. We're going to just have one-on-one tete-a-tete with everyone to just guide you and see how we can provide counsel that can help you build sustainable, scalable, successful, scalable, and sustainable and faith-based enterprise. Having said that, we're going to go straight to today's class. Please, before we do that, I said by the end of today, you're going to be owing us 4 weeks of assignment. Now you have sent to the email, but we also want you to now send the 4 weeks of assignment personally to the WhatsApp number, because we're going to have a one-on-one and consultation with everyone involved in this program, and then it's not merely to whether pass or fail, it's to help you succeed as you scale your project, and that is what. So please ensure you spend the next few days to get all assignments sent to the WhatsApp number for it. Once we receive your assignment, we're going to book you for the 10 minutes business clinic. Now, having said that, let's go to today's section. Excuse me, coming. Okay. That's fine. I hope everyone can see what is on the screen. We'll be looking at program design and community engagement. There are certain things we need to understand as a faith-based organization. Like every organization, your program design is extremely important. We see people design programs that are not relevant to the needs of the people they're trying to help. So you want to be sure that your program is meeting needs, is in line with your vision, in line with your purpose, your mission. How do you put a program that truly meets the tripartite need of your organization, spiritual, mental, and physical need of the people? One of the reasons organizations fail, especially faith-based organizations, is because the founders or the team do not take time to design efficient and effective programs. And one of the reason programs also fail is that you have programs that are designed by people that do not understand the problem they want to solve, or they do not understand the given market or the given people, the demography, the psychography that requires such solutions. And so that is why it is important that we talk about program design and community engagement. That is what we'll be looking at today, hopefully. So it's moving from vision to impact. You all have your vision. We are not here to change your vision, but we are here to help you and improve your vision to the point that you truly have strategic steps. You put strategy in place, talking about the 7 L's to actually achieve that vision. We said a vision without program remains an aspiration. When you have a vision without a program, is an aspiration you have. Like we say to people, you want to solve, you have a goal for it. You have your daily goal, your weekly goal, your monthly goal. How do you achieve these goals? With that active key activities. So you have a goal, you have key activities, key resources, key partners. These are some of the things you've got to put in place. So a vision without program remains an aspiration. And for most faith-based organizations, they just have aspiration. Aspiration is not enough to meet the needs of the people you are called to help. So you've got to ask yourself, how do I truly move from vision to impact? How do you talk about your inputs, your outputs, your outcome, and your impact. How do I move through this process that I transit to from outcome and from outcome to impact? Is extremely important that we get this right because programming is faith in action. Like the Apostle James says, show me your faith and I will show you by the things I do. You go to very successful organizations, you can see the programs, how the stakeholders, how they get people to run these programs. Because program does not run itself. How do you get people together that we run the stakeholders mapping? And that is what we're talking about, community engagement. Translate your spiritual conviction into measurable impact, something that can be measured. It must be smart. It must be measurable, and that is when you truly say you're running an organization. Especially in Africa, most African faith-based organizations, they're just spiritual, what we call they just pray, 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 pray. But you've got to understand that you're dealing with people and you're dealing with society. You've got to put the right structure in place. Now, I want to share with us common challenges in faith-based organization, which we have seen over the years, common challenges in faith-based organizations. The first one is need is assumed. You see leaders just sit somewhere and just assume that this is the need of the people. This is what people need. This is what people are going through. You can't just assume the need of people and try and think, oh, I'm a faith-based organization, I'm charitable, I'm a charity agency, I want to go and solve the need of people. The people may not appreciate what solution you are offering them. So one of the major challenges we have seen with faith-based organization is need assumed, not assessed. You have said the need you want to solve, the need you are solving. What proof can you tell us that these needs have been duly assessed? You have carried it through the need analysis to say this is the problem you're solving because it meets certain targets, it meets certain numbers of people in the society. Now, another thing you notice over the years working with faith-based organizations across the globe, not just even in Africa, even here in the UK, you have activities driven, not impact driven. We've seen that a lot even in the UK, where you have NGOs, organizations, they come, they meet, they drink tea, they do things, but you ask them, what are you people doing? Nothing. I've been with organizations where I follow them to go out and they sit from morning to night among themselves, they go home, and you hear people say, oh, today was an ethic day. I'm like, ethic in what way? Drinking tea and catching. Who are the people you are serving? I can't see any of them here. I don't know what they are doing. And so it's one of the reasons most NGOs globally are shutting down. Because why it is activity driven, it is not impact driven. And the reason it is not impact driven is because it's not need assessed, it's need assumed. For instance, you're providing a service people can get in an alternative way at a cheaper rate on a better platform. So so you've got to move from need assumed to need access, and then not just activity driven, it must be impact driven. These are extremely important. The other thing we want to look at for is that serving for communities, not with them. Most people are serving communities, but you should be serving with them. There should be engagement. Anything you are doing, you're one of the sources of Mother Teresa of blessed memories that she was serving with the people, not just serving the community. She was with them, they were engaged. There was a community integration. So NGOs, faith-based organizations that really thrive are those that integrate with the communities. It's not they just come do what they want to do and off they go. So don't just serve with communities. You've got to learn to serve with them. If you can deal with this as a faith-based organization, you're going to see that even Jesus, our Lord and Savior, followed through this process. And neither says, it will ask him, it was Jesus Christ will see a person that is sick, he will still ask him, do you want to be healed? Have you not wondered why he asks those questions? Because you think some people want to be healed, but they don't want to be healed. They love to be in that sympathetic situation because it helps them to maybe that's the only way they feel relevant to people. And so you have you noticed some people, even those that are close to you, some people enjoy being sick because they feel when they are sick, people are nicer to them, people show more care. So they enjoy being it's very funny, but you'll be shocked that these things happen. So don't just assume need, assess the need. Carry out a need analysis. Don't just be activity driven, be impact driven. And then the final one is that don't just serve the community, serve with the community. It is important when it comes to faith-based organization, you've got to serve with the communities and not just for the communities. And I felt I should share this today as we look into because the other thing we're talking about is the biblical foundation, faith expressed through action. If we may, can we open our Bible too? Because as a faith, I just want to share, there's a lot of scriptures I'm going to be sharing today regarding this one. It will help us to understand some basic things. You see, in Matthew 25, you go from verse 35 to 36, very interesting spread. It said, for I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. You see that these were faith expressed in action. It wasn't story. So the biblical foundation for faith-based is that Jesus did it. And he said, whatsoever you do to these people, you are doing to me. So if you're taking care of the orphans, the vulnerable people, first and foremost, you know that you are serving God by serving people. That is the reason one of the reasons you do the programs you do, because in faith-based organization, you're not doing it to make profit, as it were, even though you need to sustain, you need to include the concept of social enterprise. But your ultimate goal is driven by Matthew 25, 35, 36. For every time you pay somebody school fees, you just pay school fees for Jesus. Every time you give money to someone, and if that drives you, no matter what people do to you, you don't get distracted because you are doing it as unto the Lord. And that is the biblical foundation for why programs should be put in place. But if you are doing it for showmanship, you have already lost the purpose. So Matthew 25, 35, 36 gives us the foundation for running programs as faith-based organization. And this is extremely important that we get it right. The other thing we want to look at for is defining what a program is. What is a program? We need to define it. What will you say a program is? It's a structured set of activities addressing a need. What you want to take care of the orphans, the vulnerable. What are the things you've got to do on a consistent basis that address that need? It could be weekly, it could be monthly, it could be daily. A structured set of activities addressing a need that produces outcome and sustainable change. So that is the simple definition of a program. A structured set of activities. For instance, we do this every Monday at certain hour of the day, targeting certain group of persons or certain target group of people, and that is what a program is. So it produces outcome and sustainable change. So what are those structural activities that you need to put in place to get you your result? And we need to differentiate program from events. Most NGOs run events, but they don't run programs. Most faith-based organizations, so you've got to differentiate between an event and a program. An event is a one-off thing without structure, without necessarily sustaining it. There are no necessarily stakeholders, and so it's not a charity. A program is not a one-time event. It's a structure put in place. You are looking for an output, outcome, and impact. It is in the one I want us to look at. It is intentional. It is structured. It is measurable. It is mission aligned. All your program must be in alignment with your mission and vision. When you do not have a clear defined vision and mission, and you run program, when you have your program manager in your organization comes and tells you, Ma or Sir, we need to put this program together. You ask what comes to your mind as the chairperson of the board or the director of the organization is, how does this program aligns with our vision? That's your first question. That's the first question you must always ask your program manager. How does this question aligns, helps us achieve our vision or mission? Because if you do not do that, you'll be wasting resources. What you basically do, you're running an event, not a program. Because every program is designed to help you actualize your corporate vision and mission. Actually, programs are missions in action. They are missions. So if your programs are not mission aligned, then you don't have a program. It could just be another activities or wastage of money. And most CEOs, founders of faith-based organization needs to do this because some program officers, in order to take funding from you, get money to spend, they will bring several events that is not mission aligned. And at the end of the year, you have had maybe 10 programs, but none of it has pushed you towards achieving your vision or mission. So the first question is, ask them, you must always ask, how does this align with our vision and mission as an organization? Very extremely important if we want to excel as a faith-based organization. This is very important that we get this right. Once we've done that, we may come to the point where we begin to look at the next phase is why program design matters. Why program design matters. This is the reason. It improves impact and credibility. When you do not run program, after some time, people don't even know if you exist. And when you put program in place, you can tell people, okay, the money you gave to me, this is what I've used it to achieve. That's your credibility. Programs improve if we give to Sister Patricia, for instance, 20,000 pounds to run a program. We want this 20,000 pounds to our foundation. We want to see what she did with the money, and that is what program is. So program improves impact and credibility. And it also enhances stewardship. And true programs is when you scale. That is what we talked about. It enables scaling and partnership. Because one of the way people partner with you is when you have programs. If I do not know the program your organization run, I can't partner with you. It is program that attract partnership. We are running so we run a program for vulnerable children in northern Nigeria. Now, without the right program, it will be difficult to attract the right partnership. So when you talk about why do program matters, why it improves impact and credibility, a good program will improve the impact of your organization, but it also gives credibility because when I look at your program, I look at your vision and I look at your vision, your mission, and I see if the program aligns with your vision and mission. The second thing I want to check is your stewardship. Then we'll talk about scaling and and I want you to mark that partnerships. Every program you have, when you send a proposal to United Nations or to Christian Aid in London, there are three things they look at in your company: your vision statement, your mission, your team, your vision and your mission goes together. Then they look at your programs. If your programs does not align with what they do or what they sponsor, they can be your partners. So when you talk about getting partnership, it must be built in alignment. For instance, you are running a school, you're running a program for vulnerable women or children in northern Nigeria. Or maybe you're running a program for out-of-school children in northern Nigeria. What that means is that you can go into partnership with state government and Ministry of Education. You can go into partnership with UNESCO. You can go into partnership, not UNESCO, you can go into partnership with agencies that finance education because your program is what attracts your partners. Your vision and your program makes your organization attractive. And so it actually streamlines the people you reach out to. So I want to encourage, this is why program design is important. Now we talk about what is the biblical principle for planning, because if this is a faith-based organization. If you go to Luke chapter 14, verse 28, all of you that are tired, understand, please just write, you will not fall asleep. This is important because all of you are founders of NGOs, so that you don't get yours, you are going to, please, for those of us coming just now, please listen to this video again and again, it will help you. And Luke 14:28 said something so profound. He said, "For which of you intending to build a house does not sit down and first count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it?" Verse 29 is very interesting. He said, "Least after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him." This is Jesus talking. How many times do they mock people that you start a project, you don't put plan in place to how to move from one phase? That is why I tell people all business plan must be structured in a way that you integrate from one, you advance from one level to the next. And when you have a great, understand you have a great vision, but your plan is what enables any partner to see how you transit from one level to the next, how you transit from one phase to the next. And it is extremely important that everyone that runs a faith-based organization understand plan transition. In the first 6 months of your program, first 1 year, 2 years, what are you doing? What structure do you have in place that can lay the foundation for sustainability? Sometimes people scale too early and destroy an organization. So what is it? For instance, we run a school, the London School of Global Entrepreneurship in London. Is designed to be a global university, but we have not announced that it's a university to people right now because we are putting structures. We are recruiting doctorate students, where some of them are going through program. In the next 2 years, the full-blown university will be. You go through a process. So what are your plans? We need to study Luke 14:28 to 29, because when you do not have a plan, you can get too excited and you shoot yourself on the foot. As a faith-based organization, you've got to learn to have a plan. Plan is extremely important. Strategic plan is key. It's part of the S we talk about. One other thing we want to share with us today is the community engagement. Most organizations fail because their plan does not follow what we call the LCC protocol. What is the LCC protocol? You listen, connect before you create a solution. Most people do not go to the community where they want to help or the people they want to help to listen to them. You want to help widows. How many widows have you researched from? Did you listen to? You want to help children out of school in the north. Have you asked them questions? You'll be shocked the kind of education they want may not be what you want to offer them. And so the question is that you must ask, you must carry out interview and you document all those interviews. You listen, connect, and create. When you listen to people, you can connect to their pain and their true needs. Remember what we said, why NGOs fail, why most faith organizations and fail is because we said, if you can remember what we said here, we said, okay, I'm coming, I think it's, when we talk about common challenges in faith-based organizations, we say need assumed, not assessed. When you assume that this is the need of the community, you are called to serve, but you did not take it through the need validation process. you're going to make mistakes. So you've got to come to the point where you say, okay, for me, engaging community is so important. It's not something, community engagement, when it comes to planning, is key. Involve stakeholders in need, design, implementation, and evaluation. The last time I remember one of the meetings we have, I think it was the second week, we said all of you should develop a stakeholder mapping. Who are the people you need in your NGO? From the users to the financiers to the promoters to the people with the right skill set. Most people don't even know the people. They are not sat down enough to put the human resource requirements of the organization. You may not have all of them right now, but you should know you need them. So that is what we call stakeholders mapping. Who are the people, the government authorities you need, the international, you write all of them, then you start working towards achieving it, building partnership in those areas. You start attending, sometimes you attend conferences to build partnership with such people. You attend workshop to build partnership with such people. You attend dinners. Why? Because you know the stakeholders, the kind of stakeholders you are looking for. All these are extremely important. So we talk about community engagement involves stakeholders that needs you so that you can design a solution that you can implement and evaluate properly. Always listen before leading. If you follow the LCC framework, listen, connect, and create, you're going to create solutions that truly meet the needs of people. It will not be based on assumption. And that is what we want to suggest to everyone that really wants to build successful, scalable, and sustainable faith-based organization. Carry a research, if you run a church, carry a research with members of the church this week. Have an LCC form where certain questions are placed. You'll be shocked the feedback you're going to get back from the people. It is all this feedback that drives policy. It is extremely important we get it right. So listen before leading. That is key. Community engagement is important. If you go to Proverbs chapter 18, verse 13, I just felt I should share some scriptures with us regarding this because this is a faith-based organization. You've got to learn to understand why all these things are important. In Proverbs 18, I wish someone could even read it, those that it could be engagement. Is there somebody that wants to read it for us? Proverbs 18, verse 13. Okay, most of you are not with your Bible.
Proverbs 18, verse 13.
Okay.
He that answers a matter before he hears it is a folly and shame unto him.
Thank you. And that is what most NGO do. That is what they do. They see that they just feel they have the solution without listening to people first. And they end up producing foolish solution. And leaders provide solution that the people don't need. Get your stakeholders together, hear their opinion, listen to them. Listening precedes action. Most founders don't listen. We stay in one room and we draft an entire solution for a community without asking anybody question. Be slow to speak, be quick to hear. We should learn to develop. It is important for engagement. Engage the sector you want to serve. If you have not done that, please go back. You'll be shocked the solution you're going to receive from them. Even down to the pricing, the timing, and everything. Engage the people you want to serve. Community engagement is so important. Engage the people you want to serve. Now we'll talk about charity versus empowerment, because when you engage, you're going to understand, are you offering charity or empowerment? Because charity is a short-term thing. It's dependent. People depend on you. But faith-based organizations do not offer charity. You offer empowerment. Empowerment is a long-term capacity building program. So when you're putting a program, because we're talking about programs today and plans, when you're putting a program, ask yourself, are you developing a charity event or an empowerment program? Because if it's an empowerment program, it will be long-term and it will be built around capacity. It is developing the people capacity to be able to solve the problem. And that is what you exist to achieve as a faith-based organization. One of the things you're going to see, if you go to, who can read John chapter 5, verse 6 for us? Because I want today to be engaging as much as we can. John 5, verse 6. Is there anyone that wants to read?
John 5.
John chapter 5, verse
John
6.
5.
When Jesus saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he said unto him, Will you be made whole?
Now, check what Jesus Christ did. Jesus Christ knew the man was there. He knew the man needed help, but he still asked him. Jesus Christ always engaged before acting. He doesn't just assume people need help. A man is there, but he asks, do you want to be made whole? If the man said no, the Lord will go his way, because oftentimes we create solutions for people that don't need it.
Mm.
So we must go back and understand the model of Christ. The only time Jesus Christ did not really engage before he did anything was when he met the madman of Gadara, because how will a madman talk? So that's the time he just had to intervene. But let's be sincere, do you know that he also engaged with the madman before he finally cast him out?
Mm.
Because he asked the demon, say, who are you? How many are you? So there was even engagement in the situation with the madman of Gadara, because the demons had to seek permission to go into the pig. And he granted the permission. So there was even engagement. So don't just say, oh, I have the solution for everyone in the world. Have you engaged them? Have we read through the scripture that do not let your good work be evilly spoken of? You must always engage. You must listen, connect before creating a solution. Stakeholders mapping. When you say a solution is sustainable, it comes out from the place of community engagement, where people finally have a sense of ownership. So as we run faith-based organization, good ideas and everything, but who are the people that have co-owners, the users, the stakeholders? Do they see it as if it's for them, or they think, have you tried to help people that they think you are forcing them to be helped? Have you tried to give education to people that you are still begging them to get the education, and that they think they are helping you by getting the education? I don't know if we have experienced such situation, and like, what is going on here? The same education you're going to give for free and people will not value it. People will be willing to pay money to get it somewhere else. Always engage before acting, because it's the way of Christ. And that is our faith-based organization that have lasted for as much as 200 years here in Europe, have sustained. They always engage. Now, this is the program design circle I want to share with us. And every one of you should follow. This is a professional circle that I've used this for close to 20 years working with people. And you've got to need assessment. Always start your program with need assessment. Get your team, no matter, don't be in a hurry. Ask your team, have we carried out? What do the people want? How do they want it? Where do they want it? When do they want it? Can they afford it? If they can afford it, who will pay for it? You carry out a complete needs assessment. And let the needs assessment will give you a definition problem. You can say, okay, this is the problem my NGO is solving, because you have carried out a need assessment. You don't just assume the problem exists or they want such problem solved. It's like going to a community where people don't dress or wear clothes, and you think the first solution they need is clothes they need to wear. You may give them clothes and they may fall sick because their body is already exposed to direct weather. And now you decide to go and get them clothes immediately without going through a process, and then you become a problem to them. Because instead of solving a problem, you have created more problem. So you've got to understand what is the need assessment, what is the problem definition, how do you take the people from the process of stepping the people. Then you talk about what are my objectives. Objectives talks about now I know the problem. What do I want to solve? How do I solve it? How do I make things better? What are the activities I will need to execute each objectives? What are the output I expect from each objectives? What are the outcomes and what are the impacts? This is your program design cycle. Every one of you must go through it. If you want to build successful, scalable, and sustainable faith-based organization, program is in the art of building a successful faith-based organization. And you've got to understand the cycle. I'm going to share some example here with us. Need assessment begins with you got to learn to listen. LCC framework, listen, connect, and create. You carry survey, interviews. For those of you that are founders of your organization, do you have report of the surveys you took, the interviews you took, the observation you took? Do you have what is the project, the impact, the Nehemiah expect before acting? You know that before Nehemiah went and became a governor, he went and surveyed the land of Israel. He saw everything. He didn't just rush into building. If not, he would have been in trouble. So you've got to listen well, survey, interviews, and these are all instruments for need assessment. These are very important. Now we'll talk about problem definition. Specific, don't generalize, don't have generic. What is the evidence base that the problem exists? What is the root cause focus? Because there's different, what is the root cause? Because there must be cause, and don't just, because most people try to treat symptoms and not causes. We talk about the 5 why principle of knowing the root cause of a problem. For instance, we say, okay, let's do a practical example. I think Sister Patricia should be able, she runs the school. Maybe she could help in this. I want to see how it works. Because most times we treat symptoms and not problems. And if you build your organization around symptoms, you're going to lose out at the end of it. It's not sustainable. So how do you truly build an organization that is not just solving symptoms, is actually solving the real problems? That a community of people do not go to school, that may just be the symptom. The problem may be deep-rooted. And until you understand the cause of the root cause of the problem, you may just be painting a grave filled with old dead bones. You've got to ask yourself, do I really understand the root cause of this problem? Because the reason people may not be able to go to school may be because they don't have money to go to school, or they don't have job opportunities. You've got to go to the root cause. Root example, youth lack skills and market access could be a problem definition. You're solving lack of skills of youth or market access by women in a community. Those could be some problem you want to look into. So let's talk about the SMART objectives. Every problem you want to solve, every plan must be smart, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. We're training 100 youths in 12 months. That is when you say an objective is smart. Because an objective that is not smart is just an aspiration. It must be like if you say we'll train 100 youths in 12 months, it's measurable. After 12 months, you're going to find how many youths you train. It's achievable. If you train 10 youths every month, you can train 100 youths in 12 months. It is relevant. to your vision because the training, you want to get it done. The next thing you want to look is that it is time bound. Why is it time bound? Because you said it is going to be for what? 12 months. So if you understand 12 months, so you can say, okay, it is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. All these things are key when developing that. So we're going to be very fast at this moment. So what are the program activities you want to do? Activities that are like workshop, mentorship, outreach, counselings. These are now the activities you want to do to achieve your objectives. So you move from objectives to your activities. So I'm giving a classic example here. Now you come to the point of you move from activities to output and outcome. What is the output? Everybody should be alert. Your output is that you have trained 100. This is how you differentiate output, outcome, and impact. What is your output? You have trained 100 youths. What is the outcome? They have improved employability. What is the impact? It has reduced poverty in the community. So you must be able to calculate the output, the outcome, and the impact of your project as a faith-based organization. Every organization, you have your program manager, you must always tell them, and we're giving you input of 20 of 5 million to run this project. Please, what is your expected output, outcome, and impact at the end of the duration? Your team should be able to put this together. So you have the program design tools, which is logic model, which is inputs, activities, outputs, outcomes, and impact. This is the theory of change we have discussed in the past. So every one of us should look into this. Now, what are the stakeholders? We talk about your beneficiary, leaders, faith institutions, government volunteers. These are all part of your stakeholders. You want to make sure you get them. We have your ethics and inclusion, respect, culture, protect. You need, when you're putting a plan, you've got to find what are the ethics you want to follow. All these are key. And then we'll talk about your monitoring and learning. How do you track your progress? You learn what works, you adapt accordingly as you develop your plan. You need to go through this process in developing a solid plan. But I want to share something. I'm going to be sending this material to us. I want to share what are the common mistakes we notice most faith-based organizations do. We notice that very often. One, they assume needs enough. They assume they understand the needs of people. Don't do that. Sometimes you over-spiritualize the matter. You've got to be careful about that. And ignoring sustainability structure, you've got to put, so how do you sustain the project? And then oftentimes they don't get feedback. And there's one thing I talk to pastors about, I call it service evaluation team. I think some of you that are pastors here, you need to have what you call the SET framework. It's called, when you run a service, have a group of people that are called SET, where they evaluate the service and they give you a report at the end of every service. And even an NGO, you're running an event. At the end of the program, your service evaluation team come together. They tell you your management of resources, your management of time, where you spoke out of line. Their job is to advise. They don't control you. If you can have a service evaluation team, you're going to be shocked how you go. Because the Bible says desire without knowledge is not good. You need knowledge. You need information. You need feedback. You need, if you want to keep improving your faith-based organization, you need all those things to be in place. So what are the practical applications I want us to do this week? Identify the challenge of your organization, assess the need, define your objectives, and plan your activities, how you want to get that executed. Now, what is your task? Submit your program plans, context, problem, objectives, activities. I want to see that. And then takeaways. Faith-based programs must embody love, dignity, and transformation. And that is extremely important. So I want to be stopping here for today. I want every one of you, like we said, in the next few days, submit your 4 weeks assignment, send to us. Then we're going to invite you for a advisory section, which we call the business clinic. For those of you that send, we will book your section, send it to our WhatsApp page and also the email. We will book a section with you. Then you can share with us what you're going through. and we can see how we can better help you, advise you appropriately to build before we move into the fifth week. So please, we look forward to getting every one of your assignments, and we wish every one of you a lovely day. Thank you for joining today. Is there any comment, question you would like to ask? You can on your mic and or your camera and then ask your question before we close for today's section. Anyone? Any question?
It's clear, sir. It's clear.
Okay, thank you. Sister Lara, how's your day? How's your week been? Okay. So I think we're just going to call it a day. Wish every one of you a lovely week and take care of yourself. God bless you all. Bye for now.